Hey guys, welcome back to the Hat House. Appreciate you tuning back in. And today's video is jam-packed, but we were so busy this past week. It might be a little bit out of order. It's a little discombobulated, but there's a lot of information in here for sure. First, we're going to go out to the shed. We got a huge order for 100 hats. We're going to get that together, show you exactly how we're going to ship that, what shipping service that we're going to use, and how we get such a big order shipped out, and some of the trials we went through to even get it done. Next, how many sales do we actually do here in the Hat House over the past 30 days? I think you might be a little surprised about that number. And then we also cover some just tips in this video. I still get questions all the time about what size boxes do we use. And I use two, and I cover them in this video of the two main boxes that you'll need if you're ever shipping out a hat. And then last, we sent out another free hat with our membership. You'll definitely want to see what they got for free, which is an awesome hat, and also see what next week's hat's going to be for our members. So first off, let's get out to the shed and let's look at this big order. Hey guys, welcome back to the Hat House. Kind of a different video today. We're starting out here in the shed where we store all of our hats. We're getting ready to put away these 50 hats that we got listed, but it's kind of a momentous day for us here at the Hat House. We sold an order of 100 items, and we're gonna have to pick all those. It's really cool. We sold a big lot of hats. The buyer just kind of went through the shop, picked out what he wanted. And you get those kind of orders and you're like, oh, will it really happen? They were talking how many hats they wanted, and you're kind of like,
yeah, they messaged for 2 days. So
2 days trying to get the pricing correct. I finally gave them like a coupon, a special coupon to use in our store, and they used it so we could kind of agree on the price and get them a better deal. But we're going to go in there, we're going to put away the hats that we got listed, and then we're going to pick those 100 hats and we'll show you what they are. Really cool day here at the Hat House. The best one
day sale
ever. Yeah, so it was pretty awesome. Let's get in here and start picking. So we haven't really been out here lately, but if you haven't seen my inventory system, I have a video about it. But basically all the hats are in these boxes. They're just kind of stored away like this, H33. So I know which box each one of them is going to be in, but the buyer was trying to just tell me to pull all the hats and then put them into a lot and then sell them to them that way. That was going to be really difficult to look up 100 hats and to pull them all out. And then I'm like, well, can I just send you a video of all the hats that I want? No, because then it didn't have this custom SKUs on them. So that's why it took us a little while to work out how to do the pricing and how to get this big deal done. But ultimately it got done. So we're going to have to go through, pick every single hat out, and then we'll lot them up that way. But it's just a little difficult to, if you wanted to pull them all out and make a lot, that would be kind of hard to do. But because I had to have the custom SKUs on every single hat to be able to know where they were. So we're gonna get busy and start pulling these orders, and then we'll get back to you as soon as we get them all together. All right, guys, we got it all together.
Yeah, it took us about 30 minutes to get it all together. Double check, made sure we had everything, just to be sure.
And we were missing one hat, but I messaged him and I found a hat to replace it with. So that hat may be out there somewhere, but I think we got him a better hat instead. He wanted this NBA hat instead of like an Interstate Batteries hat. But anyways, about 100 hats right here. We picked it in about 30 minutes to pick all of them. Now we're going to get to boxing them up. Thankfully, I have some boxes left over from the hats when I order 100 hats. So we're going to get them all boxed up. I don't know if I said it, but the order total was around $550, about 100 hats. So $5-ish a hat. He did get 2 or 3 clothing items as well, but really great sale. Hopefully I can get them all boxed up, and I got a pretty sturdy box. I don't keep them on hand because I don't sell 100 hats every day. So let's see if we can get these boxed up. All right, I got them all in here. Just gonna cut this box down to a little bit better size, and then we'll tape it up, and it'll go out pretty easy. Lucky I had a 100-ish hat quantity capacity box. on hand. All right, we got it taped up. We're going to weigh this one up. My last piece of advice on shipping 100 hats would be pirate ship and UPS. I never go to UPS, but for this instance, we will head out to UPS and drop it off there. Let's see how much this bad boy weighs. I'm going to guess, I haven't weighed it yet, but I know from past experience, 100 hats should weigh 20-ish pounds. 20 to 21 pounds is going to be my guess. You got a guess?
30.
30 pounds? No way. There are a few clothes in there, but they're... All right, 21 pounds. I won't go over. Well, we're kind of in the middle. 24 pounds on this one. This is a sturdier box. I'm going to blame it on the box because it's double boxed a little bit, but I don't think it was 3 extra pounds. So I guess the clothes do weigh a little bit more. 3 clothes, 3 pounds maybe. Come on, give it to me. All right. We're going to ship it out. I'll let you know how much it costs, though, for 24 pounds, and we'll get the dimensions. All right. We'll go 19 tall. I overestimate all the time. If it's 18 and a half, I put in 19. And then it is 20 wide, so we'll go with 21. And by... It says 14, but we'll go 15. So it's going to New York, a pretty good distance away from here. And that's going to be $48. If I could get the dimensions down a little bit, I could probably get it closer to 35 or 38. But we're going to go with the $48. I basically charged them $50 in shipping anyways. So it worked out pretty good. Pretty even on the transaction. $48 for that label on Pirate Ship UPS from Oklahoma to New York. So we're going to get this one out. Really appreciate if you happen to be a viewer and you bought the hats. Really appreciate it. We got them all boxed up and you'll get them real soon. All right, that was fun getting that big order together. Now let's take a look at all the sales that we've had over this past week and some of our favorite sales here in the Hat House. And let's look at some of those tips and tricks we also have inside. All right, first up going out today, besides the big order, is this $20 vintage camo fishing hat right here, probably from the late 80s, early 90s. Really cool fishing hat with all the pins on it. 20 bucks, took the offer on this one. A great vintage hat. Next up was a really cool streetwear brand you want to be on the lookout for. Crowns Guam had this nice little leaf, kind of silver, kind of, I don't know, pretty shiny. But anyways, this is the brand right here, Crowns Guam. This went out for $30. It had this little side hair right here. Really good brand right here. They regularly go for $30. This one still had the tag on it too. Really cool hat. Next up, this vintage Farrow Lines. Really cool trucker hat right here. I think this is a transportation company. Sold in about 12 hours for $25 on this trucker hat. Somebody must have been looking for it. I think I picked it up on Whatnot and sold for $25 on eBay. All right, if you were watching the unboxing live, you would have seen I got this hat for like, I was like, it's Timberland, but I might just lot it up, and sold for $19 in like 24 hours after we listed it. I went ahead and decided to list it because it was camo, and camo is hot as always. 19 bucks on this Timberland hat. I'll take it. It was like new though. All right, next up, kind of wild. Both of these sold to 2 different people on the same day. One went for 22, one went for 14. I took an offer for 14 on one, and then I had another one in my store, and somebody scooped it up, I guess, before it went away. They must have been watching both of them and saw one sold. So 2 different people, same day, same hat. Kind of crazy how it works sometimes. Next up, you know I love the fishing hats, and this is what I'm talking about. When people say, can you still find hats out there, or everybody is getting all the good sports hats, it doesn't have to be. This is $31 on this awesome vintage fishing hat right here. Really cool hat. A lot of people would not even, they wouldn't pay $5 for this hat to try and flip it. But this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about, is the stuff that I look for when I'm out and when I'm sourcing. This is the thing, these are the things that I go for because I know that I can flip them pretty good. $31 plus shipping on this one. And then the New York Yankees went for 28. It was a nice kind of different color, right? And it was a size 7.5, so great size. Keep that size priced up. And then in gray, New York Yankees, all those things make this $28 nice New Era hat. All right, next up, this Boston hat went out for $49.95. It went full price on this, 7.5. This is kind of last year's 4th of July hat, so these are going to continue to do well. I have a few left in my store. Like I said, awesome size, 7.5. Took a while to sell. I got a lot of $15 offers on this hat, but I was like, no way, somebody will love this Boston hat and will pay $40 for it, and they did. All right, last up for today, $22 on this New Jersey Devils 1995 Stanley Cup champions. Not a great hat brand. It was on this universal snapback, just kind of screen printed on, but definitely a vintage hat. New Jersey Devils stuff sells really great. $22 on this one, great sale. All right, guys, last thing going out today, Beecham got another one. Got a free hat going out to him from the members draw. We're packing it up right now, sending it out. Really appreciate the members that we have. $1.99 gets you in free drawing every week for a cool hat just like this one. All right, next week's hat that's going to go for free. I'll probably draw it by Wednesday or Thursday. Probably do it on a live just like I did the other one. A brand new Puma hat, white and gray snapback hat right here. Still has the tags on it. Everyone that's a member, $1.99 level or $19.99 level, will be in the drawing for this hat. So make sure you get in there, you get signed up today and a member, and then get a cool free hat. Right now they got a 50-50 chance. So the odds are ever in your favor. Sign up. Hey guys, welcome back to Monday morning. About 100 hats going out today, give or take, maybe 90. We had a few combined orders. You'll see those definitely, but I never really talk about my shipping process. And I still get questions all the time about boxes. Mainly use two different kinds of boxes for these kind of hats that have the curved bill that fit in here really nicely. I always use the 8x6x4. That's what this box is. Works nicely for one hat. And then the higher crown hats, like New Era hats, I always use the 8x8x4. And they work well for New Era hats in there. The other part of my shipping process that I really don't talk about much is it's all by custom SKU, right? So I pick by custom SKU. Everything's lined up here all the way down. You can see the end right there. And all the way back this way. It's all lined up by custom SKU. And then so when I print the labels out, I just leave up the page that has all the orders and the order that it went in. Sometimes I'll take a screenshot of it just to have a backup, but then it basically goes in order and the name's on the page. 95% of the time, the name matches exactly to the hat that you have in your hand, to the name that's on the label. Every once in a while, I have to click off of that and go into the actual order just to verify the name. But so then we just print all the labels out and they pretty much get stuck on in order going backwards until we get back to the first hat. So the process is pretty fast once we get to actually get them all boxed up and get the labels printed off. So that's kind of the process we use here in the Hat House and how we get about 100 hats shipped out in, I would say, about an hour. It's about a minute per hat if you break it down to actually box them all up, get them in order, and then print the labels, and then go back and then slap the labels on each one of them. So about a minute to a minute and a half per hat of shipping time. So not too bad. And Mary always works out we did all the combined orders together. We got them out at the beginning. And then so these are all just the singles, and then she'll just print all these labels and then I'll have them. So let's get to what was actually the best sales in this 100, because I always want to show you that. All right, guys, let's talk about combined orders again. First, we got 7 hats going out right here for $45. Working on another huge combined order in our store customer. Hopefully it'll pay off 100 hats. We'll see. Hopefully I get that in this episode. But 7 hats right here, $45 combined order because we messaged. Next up, the price of Patagonias are coming up a little bit. These were a little different colors too. They weren't kind of the normal. $34 for these 2 Patagonias. This one wasn't in the greatest of shape, but Patagonia hats, $34. I'm happy with that. And next up, about $100 for these 3 Seattle hats. They got some really cool vintage Seattle in the store. This one was a 7 and an 8 diamond collection. And then this really cool Seattle with the silver bill. And then this Seattle right here, kind of different colorways on these two. And then a nice diamond collection on the first one. $300 for these 3 hats. Great deal and some collectible hats. And last up on the combined orders today, $27 for a Batman corduroy and an I Love Bowling corduroy hat. Corduroy's still selling, not the best prices right now, but I will take $27 for these two. All right, first up, I have to take back the negative stuff I've been saying about Patagonia. I sold 2 for like $34, and then this Patagonia right here went out for $17 as well. But I find that the ones that aren't mesh back do a little bit better. $17 on this one, sold super fast. Nice little green and kind of off-white Patagonia hat. And a Jordan hat went out for $20. This was a little bit different. The buyer said he actually collects these Jordan types of hats, kind of the lightweight, running, kind of dry fit type of Jordan hats. $20 on this one. Really nice Jordan hat. And I was talking negatively in a live, I think, about Undefeated, but this one went for $18. So it was in really good shape. The gray, they call it 5 strikes. It usually has these 5 strikes on the front. 5 strikes Undefeated by the hundreds. Snapback, $18 on this one. Really good sell. I'm pleased with it. And an Oregon Ducks hat went for $18. I always tell you these, some people call it center swoosh. I mean, they made the hoodies that had a center swoosh like right here. And it's kind of bled, that name is kind of bled over into the hat market a little bit, calling this center swoosh. But the swoosh with the name does really well on these. $18 on an Oregon Nike hat. And I was telling you guys about US Open stuff, and this one went for $20. US Open 2000 vintage hat right here. I tell you guys, I always pick up the tennis stuff, especially the vintage tennis stuff. There's a lot of golf stuff out there, but the tennis stuff sells too. 2000 US Open. This was on the Twins Enterprise tag too. And this is how we date. This is how we date hats. And we know that this tag right here is probably early 2000s. It's going to be vintage now. Just kind of look out for when you get anything dated on the hat. Take a look at the tag and remember that tag, what the time period was for that tag. So when you see another hat, you know whether you call it vintage or not. Next up is the Under Armours. I priced it up a little bit. This one was really cool. It's had US Navy on it and it had a flag. Really cool Under Armour hat. $26 on this Under Armour hat. Most Under Armour hats are $10, but when you have something unique and really cool like US Navy and a flag, price it up. And this is one I almost didn't even list. Volkswagen hat. I almost threw it in like a lot up pile, but it went for $17. Still had the sticker underneath here. Was branded Volkswagen. Had the Volkswagen tag. $17 on a Volkswagen strapback hat. I cannot complain. Guys, I guess Patagonia's just heating up. $17 on this Patagonia. This is the Buffalo Fitzroy Bison or Buffalo hat right here. $17 on it. And I take back everything negative I said about Patagonia. I think it's really just kind of more of a seasonal thing. Like during the winter, people aren't outdoors and doing their Patagonia type stuff. But now they are, and they're paying for the hats. So $26 on the Washington Huskies, size 7 3/8. Always tell you to keep a lookout for these. They sell really well. Usually they maintain a selling price over $20. $26 on this one, I'm happy with. And next, this Fanatics Chicago Blackhawks sold for $26. Picked this up on Whatnot. Really great price, and I got a really good deal on them. But the Fanatics new stuff still sells for over $20. Chicago Blackhawks snapback Fanatics, $26. And the LSU Tigers sold for $18. Picked it up in the same Whatnot show. Really love finding new hats. They can do really well. Top of the world. Pretty good brand right here. LSU. And I always put, like, if it says anything special, like it says Go Tigers right here, always put that in the listing. Sometimes people are looking for a hat that says just that, and you're the one that's got it. And my patch hats, or my pocket patch hats, are still selling. I got a few of them left. These are super cool. $18 on this one, Monterey, California. And next is one you might just skip over because you think it's plain and it looks junky. But this Cabela's hat is a vintage. It's kind of a leather suede. The suede isn't even in that great a shape, but it's definitely vintage. Had the Made in USA tag here, the old Cabela's here. Strap back, $20 on this. It was a really older hat, but still they retain their value when it's a really quality hat. Now I don't know why, but I looked it up and I saw these. How much?
35.
This one went for $35, and that's the price. A lot of them sold between $25, $35, close to $40 on Washington Capitals 2018 Stanley Cup champs. I will tell you, a lot of hats like the champion hats, or the Stanley Cup or Super Bowl or whatever, that sometimes they don't have very good value, especially when they're made by Nike and whatnot, and they take forever to sell. But this is a Bolo one, basically. People will pay for $30 regularly for this hat right here. And another great sale, the Mercedes-Benz vintage 80s rope hat went for $39. It was on the Dorman Pacific with the skinny snap. Most of the time, if you see these skinny snaps, it is 80s. You can definitely tell this is just a older vintage hat right here. Mercedes-Benz, of course, is awesome. $38. Man, I sold some of my favorites this week. Ebbets Field flannel. This one still had the tags on it. I think somebody else had one out there in basically the same condition as I did. How much did mine go for? $30. I think they were priced around the same, but glad to get the sale before they did. And it was basically new with the tags. Cervasi Polar. I know I just messed up that name.
It's close. Cerveceria Polar.
Cerveceria Polar. So really cool hat. Even if you can't say the name, you can spell it. Next up, this Vintage Cool went for $35, and I took a little time on this one. This one I did shape up, put a little steam on it, got it in really good shape. $35 on the Cool cigarettes are doing awesome. If I would have just sold it in the condition that I had it, it probably would have been a $20 hat, but I was able to shape it up a little bit to get $35 on this one. Really cool cigarettes. And a cool vintage Raiders trucker hat right here went for $24. Definitely 80s, early 90s Youngin tag right here. Yeah, it had the Youngin snap on it as well. Nice little foam Raiders hat, $24 on this one. And a New Era snapback, Minnesota Twins, black on black, always sells really quick. $18 on this one on a snapback. That's right about the right price. I would say that it would land. This was in great condition. They got a nice Twins hat. And this LA hat went out for $22. It was just different. So I kept it priced up over $20 on the American Needle tag. The LA logo was a little bit different. So I kept it priced up, and somebody paid $22 for a dad hat, and they got a cool one. And the Seattle Supersonics went out for $21. It was vintage on the Twins Enterprise, kind of wool blend. Even in a strapback version, $21. Seattle Supersonics still doing pretty well on the Sonic stuff. I don't know if it's because the Thunder are doing well, so people want to wear their Sonic stuff to a Thunder game. I don't know. Maybe. And I told you I had some cool flat caps. This Stetson vintage in really awesome shape. Still had the size on it, which I always love on flat caps. It seems to always fall off. This was like a wool blend Stetson flat cap. Went out for $29 on the flat cap. Can't complain about that on a Stetson hat. Next up, maybe I underpriced this. Somebody might be flipping this on top of me. The Mickey Mouse golfing stuff is kind of all over. I did spend a little time on this one too and shaped it up really nicely. Looked really good. $25 on this Mickey golf hat right here. Vintage, really great hat. They got a great hat here. If they're wearing it, awesome. If they're flipping it, good job. My vintage Seattle went out for $29. This one's set behind me on the wall forever. And finally, I found someone to do snaps for me. Bread Boy's vintage. He's on Whatnot. He replaced snaps, like 10 snaps on hats for me. And I got this one back. He did an awesome job on just changing out the snaps. Some people try to find the original snaps. I don't really worry about that too much. I just want it functional. If they are worried about having original snaps, they probably don't mind changing out the snaps again themselves. So I just try to get it wearable. If somebody really loved this hat, wanted to wear it and had some fresh set of snaps on it, then I'll sell it. So $29 on this one. Great price. These AJDs do awesome. And I think I talked about this one on a live. This one went for $20 because it had a really cool logo on it and in great shape. Just a regular 47 snapback. Sometimes you're just looking at a hat and you're like, man, that is a cool hat. Somebody will still pay $20 for that one. I want to keep it priced up, and this one did. And another pocket patch hat, Big Sur, California, went for $20 as well. Both they went up to separate people, so these hats are selling really well. The pocket patches on them, really cool hats. These are made by Bart Bridge. Really cool hats, 20 bucks. Next up, Cleveland Indians, Wahoo, Chief Wahoo. A really cool hat right here, $30 on it. Had the World Series side embroidery on it, snapback. Wasn't the cleanest on the inside. $30, I think I'm okay with the sale, and they got a good price. So hopefully they love this hat. And next up, probably the coolest hat of the day, $50 on this Blue Diamonds. It's like a Navy hat. What did I call it?
Blue Diamond Strike Fighter Squadron.
Navy Strike Fighter Squadron. It was pretty small, but you're talking like a 1970s hat right here. Kind of this felt material. Really collectible hat. $50 may have been too low, but it's sold really quick. I hope it's going to somebody that really loves this hat. It was maybe in the Strike Fighter Squadron, the Blue Diamonds. I hope it's going to a good place like that, because it is a really cool piece of kind of history and really cool military hat. And Brixton hats can still get $25 to $26. This one did awesome because it was in excellent condition, basically like new. Kind of had this suede bill on it. Really cool Brixton with the circle patch, basically like new. $26. Condition a lot of times is just everything. If this was a little beat up at all, it would probably be a $10 hat, but this one was almost perfect, so I got 26 for a Brixton. Cannot complain. And you saw this one on the live too. It went for $35. I kept this one priced up. The Army Green is so hot right now. Keep it priced up. But also the 940 style will go for a little bit more. $35 on an LA Dodgers hat. Cannot complain about that. They got a really cool one too. All right, guys, we got everything packed up. And one more thing going out today. David bought a hat shaper. He's kind of the guinea pig. He did buy one. I'm gonna go ahead and send him two because I have two different sizes. And David's gonna kind of let me know what he thinks about them. And kind of be a test subject. I do appreciate him paying for them. I know some of you guys have asked for these. It's really going to be limited. I'll get them to a few people, see how they like them, if they have any feedback about them. I love them. I think they'd work awesome. There's a few little things about them, but David, I got two of them coming out to you. All right, guys, let's see what's going out today. Some really good hat sales. And I don't think you guys know sometimes what the volume of hats that come through the hat house really is. We've sold 1,500 items in the past 30 days. So probably it's been over 1,000 hats that we've sold. Probably around 1,200. We only sell a few clothing items here and there, but we've sold quite a bit of hats. And there was that big order that we've seen in this video that went out for 100 as well. But the hat sales are definitely heating up. We are selling as many as we can get listed right now. So get your hats up, get them listed, and get them sold. First up, I took an offer on this. It's probably a $45 hat. Is new. It's this McLaurin hat. It's actually going international. I took $30 for it. And guys, if you get hats for $1 or $2, why not just take 30 right now? I mean, I know everybody has their own different business model, but a lot of times I'll just take 30 instead of waiting for a month to get the extra $10. There was also a pretty big seller on this listing too that had a lot of these new ones for like 40 or 45. Next up is, I need to clean it off a little bit, but got some threads on it. Next up was a great sale, $33 on this New York Mets. This was a Roman Pro, 7 1/4, $33 on this. The sweatband on these usually go bad pretty quick, but this one stayed really good. The leather sweatband, I usually try to keep it in great condition like this, $30 to $40. Sometimes you can get even more for Roman Pros, but pretty cool little hat right here in awesome condition, 33 bucks. Next up was this John Deere. I call it it's kind of a trapper. I don't know exactly what you would call it besides that. I just always make sure I put like ear flaps insulated, lined. It's kind of a trapper hat. This was a K brand for $44 on this one. Beautiful condition John Deere hat right here. I knew it would get a really good sales price on this. I think I got it on Whatnot. So pretty good flip there. Awesome John Deere hat. Next up, we got another combined order, $74 on these 4 hats. I think first they started with $25 on this, and I took the offer, and it was lower. I wanted $30 to $35 or more for this cool Patagonia hat, but it led into a $70 sale. And that's, you just don't know sometimes, guys. If people end up taking the deal, combining some orders, and got the rest of these hats for a total of $75. This was a Long Hollow Ranch hat. And then we had a Kings Mill Golf Club hat. And then we had another cool rope, Get Lost by Cole hat right here. So 4 really cool hats. They got some good hats right here. And it started it off by giving them a decent deal on the Patagonia. I told y'all I don't sell hundreds hats for that much. This one only went for $15. Maybe it's more. I'm really looking for somebody out there that has sold a hundreds hat for over $20. If you have done that, please stand up and let me know what I can do differently to get good money out of the hundreds hats. And next up, did I undersell this hat? I sold it for $20. It was a really cool Mighty Ducks hat, but it was on the Zephyr, so it wasn't on the greatest tag, but it had a really cool kind of big logo here. I think somebody else has their like price for $70 or $80. And I just, sometimes I don't look everything up. I thought a Zephyr hat, cool logo, $20 to $30. I don't know, maybe I did, but I don't know, 20 bucks. And I got $35 for this hat, Ken Griffey Jr., the Kid Awesome youth hat right here. You don't really get $35 on many youth hats, but I can just imagine somebody buying this for their son or their daughter and having them wear the Kid Ken Griffey Jr. hat. Definitely worth it. Super cool for a youth hat. $35 is a great price too. It was a really, really cool hat. And only $15 for this one, but I bring it up because the Olympics are coming, right?
Yep.
August usually is when the Olympics are, but the Summer Olympics are coming. Red, white, and blue stuff is going to get big, and especially Olympic stuff is going to be huge over the next few months, and will really help us through kind of the summer slowdown period that we usually have in July and August. I think Red, White, and Blue and Patriotic America stuff will be really good to help carry us through the summer slowdown.